So what do you understand by this term feminism? Huh? Very good. It's related to welfare and empowerment of women. It is an ideology which refers to welfare and empowerment of women, and that deals with emancipation and liberation of women and giving them equal rights at par with men. Because throughout the history you can see, not only in India but also other places, the status of women was low. They were not given the right to take independent decision, or right to work, or maybe right to single parenthood, or right to choose a mate, something else like that, isn't it? So this is very predominant phenomenon. But during 1750 to 1840, due to industrial revolution, factory replaced this joint family or family as a unit of production. Earlier, when joint families or families were unit of production, all the members of family are living in the place they are living, working in the place they are living. So when factory changed or replaced joint families as a unit of production, now members of the family started working in the factory. Not only men but also women. This is in context to Europe, because the ideology of this feminism started in Europe and Western countries. So, and you know that industrial revolution first took place in European countries only, isn't it? Why you are all seeing surprised, isn't it? So this was the situation. So women started working in factories. But after World War I, or during World War I, that is approximately from 1914 to 1950, again women were restricted to household and domestic activities. So here some kind of participation of women in economic activities, and when they participate in economic activities other than their house, there would be some social changes also, as well as political changes or cultural changes. You can get my point. But again, after this duration, you can see from this particular period, they were restricted to household and domestic activities or midwifery roles. So after 1950, this feminism as a movement started in Europe and spread to other parts of the world. So in this context, two types of ideologies of feminism came into existence. One is liberal feminism and the other one is radical feminism. Can you differentiate between liberal and radical feminism? Liberal feminism is positive in nature and radical feminism is negative in nature. See, this liberal feminism is not against family. According to radical feminists, they are against family because they see family as a source of exploitation of women. And as a result, in this particular ideology, the stability of family increases or decreases? Decreases, because they are seeing family as a source of exploitation. Liberal feminism is not against family. They do not see family as a source of exploitation, and therefore this ideology will be increasing the stability of the family. So this is some background about feminism, and as I said, it started in Europe and spread to Europe and other Western countries and spread to the rest of the world. So we'll write this introduction, then we'll see the remaining aspects. So please write it. Yes, you are all right. Equal rights and duties to men and female. Yes, please. Feminism. Between 1750 to 1840, due to industrialization, factories replaced family as a unit of production. Both men and women started working in factories. From World War I, that is between 1914 to 1950, women's role 14 to 1950, 1914 to 1950. Women's role was restricted to household and domestic activities. After 1950, feminism as a movement started in Europe and other Western countries and spread to rest of the world. Feminism refers to a reform movement for welfare and empowerment of women and that deals with emancipation and liberation of women and giving them equal rights at par with men. Equal rights at par with men. Feminism is of two types. First one, liberal feminism. which is positive in nature. They do not consider family as a source of exploitation. So they are not against family. This ideology increases the stability of the family. You get my point. Next one is radical feminism. Radical feminism. It is negative in nature. This ideology considers family as a source of exploitation of women. Family as a source of exploitation of women. So they are against family. This ideology decreases the stability of the family. This ideology decreases the stability of family. You get my point? So this is about liberal and radical feminism. You can write Veena Das studied the impact of feminism on the family system in India. Veena Das. Studied the impact of feminism on family system in India. So we'll see the impact on social, economic and political aspects, and then we can finish this one off. Arya asked one question: how women got their independence as male counterpart was there in urban centers too. Again, think from basic point, everyone is independent right from beginning unless until controlled by some societal factors, isn't it? Who is imposing restrictions on you? The societal norms, values, rules, regulations or other means of social control which are giving you certain prescriptions and proscriptions. That means asking you to do something, asking you not to do something. So that regulative force comes from the societal norms, the culture, the values, regulations, etc. So now you see the society and culture in rural areas and urban areas. Here the control is high, here control is less, because here control is more because size of the population is less, isn't it? And then obviously it is a very conservative society. And here monitoring and regulation is more. So as a result, here in rural areas you can generally see the societal norms, cultural practices are strictly followed rather than urban areas. What I mean to say is, In rural areas, it is more regulated than urban areas. In urban areas, size is huge. It is a liberal society, isn't it? And monitoring and regulation also is less. So here, movement is more. Do you agree or not? So where restrictions are more, here are less. Now imagine yourself only, both boys and girls. You go to your native place. If you, those of you who are coming from village, isn't it? Your movement will be a little bit more restricted. You can't go everywhere, no, because you are under watch. But in urban areas here, you are free to go anywhere, both boys and girls, isn't it? Why? Yeah, restrictions are less. There is no monitoring. Wherever you go, no one is asking. Even parents are calling you and asking where you are. I am in library or room. These kind of stories you cook up, no? Why? Because of monitoring and regulation is less. Even you don't know the members of society also. In village you are going somewhere, someone is, when did you come? So you will, here no one will ask you, no? So you are free to move, both boys and girls. Now can you say that in urban areas movement is better? Isn't it? So here, that is why in urban areas freedom is more and people enjoy this one, and that is why after certain age, after you reach adulthood, and when you are more with this luxury and fancy lifestyle, many students or many of the youngsters tend not to go to their hometown, even if they go maybe 3 to 4 days or 1 week, because they are enjoying the freedom, living away from, first from family and from the society from which they belong to. Yes or no? So that is, I think, yeah, see, it's not, you need not stereotype only India, because the social and cultural aspects are almost similar everywhere. It is only someone is sooner and someone is later, isn't it? Something started in Western countries earlier, and maybe they started in like Eastern countries later. You get my point? But change is inevitable, and this is a natural process. No one need. It is not that we are getting inspired by someone else, but it is generally the norms of the society. Society and cultural practices are subject to change. As society is evolving, that means over a period of time changes are inevitable. Whatever evil practices are there, or whatever restricted socio-cultural practices are there which restrict the freedom and mobility of individuals, will be done away with, either through imitation or through self-learning. You get my point? It is not that earlier since things were different. You can see right from the beginning of human evolution, both male and female were equal. That was the case till even Rig Veda also, but later Rig Vedic age, this gender discrimination or maybe caste, these kind of discrimination came into existence. Then what is happening? Again we are reinventing the methods of living which otherwise are not new to human evolution, isn't it? Right from the beginning, that means right from the beginning of human evolution, all these things were present, but in a different form. But later things have changed to a totally different form. You get my point? Now again we are speaking about democracy, decentralization, or maybe equal rights, or gender equality, or egalitarianism, or community property. All these kind of things were present right from the beginning. Yes or no? They changed. Then again we are saying about it. Even sustainable development. That means not irrational extraction and utilization of resources. What is sustainable development? Isn't it? To safeguard environment, and so that the next generations can have a good nature to live in. That was there in the beginning. We destroyed it. Now again we are saying about sustainable development. You get my point? That in that way you can say that things repeat themselves in one way or the other. That is why you would have seen history repeats itself. It can be taken in both positive way as well as a negative manner. Maybe after some time, maybe again there may be restricted mobility. Now this time maybe towards men. Now men will come and start fighting for their rights. That is also happening, no? Like in some places. No, see. Yes or no? Because of more regulations, what will happen? The freedom of men will decrease. So female may become dominant. Then what will happen? Male will start for their rise. Yes or no? That is how generally things progress, isn't it? It actually emanated from society, yes, obviously, and at family level, because family is the basic unit. Discrimination is not the law of society. Discrimination is only to that dominant people who want to centralize their power within some groups, and those are the few group of people who try to perpetuate this kind of discrimination, superiority and inferiority, and as a result but discrimination in no society will be the law. No one likes to be discriminated, isn't it? In order to create that gap, it has become some practices have become established, and through that practices they have created this stereotyping of discrimination. So it is not the law of society, isn't it?